Welcome to another episode of the Adrienne Ross Show, where sports and culture connect. Well, I guess you can say that the WNBA is on the map. Just this week, a member of the House of Representatives, the U.S. House of Representatives, took to the House floor to talk about the WNBA. Yes, she did mention that they should be paid more money, in her opinion, but she also called out the WNBA about something that happened last year in 2024. Let me say this. She is a representative from the state of Minnesota, and we know that Minnesota faced the New York Liberty in the finals last year. It went all the way to Game 5, and Minnesota ended up on the losing end. New York finally got its championship. But as I pointed out then, it was not without the help of the officials. Well, Representative Angie Craig of Minnesota, she points out that it was not without the help of the WNBA. At that time, I used a phrase that one of the subscribers of the Adrienne Ross Show had used in the live stream of the game, and that is the rigification of the game. We talked about the rigicality, which was something another subscriber of the channel had said, because we got to see Jonquel Jones absolutely hooking, grabbing, and throwing down players from Minnesota, especially Alana Smith. Rigicality and rigification. I maintain that that game was given to New York. I know people like New York. I know people who watch this channel are fans of Sabrina Ionescu, and by all accounts, Sabrina Ionescu seems to be a great person, but that doesn't change facts. And I maintain that the officials handed that win over in the final seconds of the game to New York, plain and simple. Well, I don't know why it took so long, but Representative Craig has decided to go to the House floor and call it out. Well, first of all, we're going to go to this press release about this, and then we're going to go over to her actual speech. She brought the heat. Let's take a little look at this press release. You can see right here, Congresswoman Angie Craig, 2nd District of Minnesota. Representative Craig takes to the House floor to challenge WNBA leadership and call for pay raises for female athletes. So we'll start here. This was July 22nd, so just this week. It says today, following the WNBA All-Star game this past weekend and ahead of the Minnesota Lynx New York Liberty game, U.S. Representative Angie Craig took to the House floor to condemn the circumstances around the Lynx Liberty series that cost the Lynx the 2024 WNBA championship title. So we're going to go down a little bit, and it says, let me just say it out loud. The WNBA wanted the Liberty to win, Representative Craig continued. Big market team, superstar faces, a tidy storyline for the league office and league commissioner, who literally wore the New York City skyline on her dress that night. Remember that, y'all? Oh, my goodness. In Minnesota, we were the wrong script. Too gritty, too real, too inconvenient. We'll stop here, and we'll go over to her actual speech. Hold on to your seat.
Mr. Speaker, soon the Minnesota Lynx will play the New York Liberty at home in Minneapolis. As some Minnesotans may remember, I made a friendly wager with a New York member of Congress last year at the beginning of the Minnesota Lynx New York Liberty WNBA final series. That bet included that I would don a Liberty jersey and give a speech congratulating them from here on the House floor if they won the series. And I would have, but I won't. Why won't I? Because the truth is that Minnesota didn't lose Game 5. I was there in New York. The Liberty didn't win. The WNBA gave it to them. Let's stop pretending what happened in Game 5 of the WNBA Finals was just a bad call. It wasn't. The Minnesota Lynx clawed their way through the playoffs. They defied the odds. They outworked every team and every narrative. And in the final seconds of a championship game, on the biggest stage, they didn't get outplayed. They got erased. Oh, even from the House floor, right here in the chamber, I can hear the New York fans protesting. But I know them well enough from Madison Square Garden that night to know that if this had happened to them, their outrage would be the same, which with much more colorful language. A phantom foul, 5 seconds left. Alana Smith playing legal defense on Breanna Stewart, who, let's be honest, is the league's marketing golden girl. The contact, it was embellished, marginal at worst, but the whistle blew, and the game and the title was handed to New York on a silver platter. And when the Lynx challenged the call, the officials reviewed themselves. The same people who made the call decided to stand by it. That's not accountability. That's the system protecting itself. That's the fix being called in. Meanwhile, Napheesa Collier, the heart of the Lynx, an all-star, a force in the paint, didn't shoot a single free throw the entire game. Now you tell me, how does a player so dominant in the lane never draw contact? Because she was erased from the whistle. Let me just say it out loud right here from the House chamber. The WNBA wanted the Liberty to win. Big market team, superstar faces, a tidy storyline for the league office and the league commissioner, who literally wore the New York skyline on her dress that night. And Minnesota, we were the wrong script, too gritty, too real, too inconvenient. The league talks about fairness. The league talks about lifting women up. Pay them what they deserve if you want to lift women up in the WNBA. They talk about growing the game with integrity. But when the stakes were high, the WNBA didn't protect the game. They manipulated it. They chose a winner. And here's the truth. Minnesota didn't lose Game 5. The WNBA took it from them. And I'll be damned if I ever put on a New York Liberty jersey. With that, Mr. Speaker, I yield back.
Where did she lie? Where'd she lie? Now, I'm not here to get into what she says about them being paid for, what they deserve. I did a video on that the other day. You can go check that out. That's not the point here. My point is she's talking about that final game, and she's following up because she had made a promise to wear a Liberty jersey, and she's saying under other circumstances, I would have kept my word, but not after what I saw. And she's not lying. And this is not sour grapes. It's just facts. So I was on those facts last year. As I said, I'm going to start with when she talked about that phantom call on Alana Smith, because I totally broke that down. So I'm going to take you back to my video that I did after that game, a video I entitled Rigification and Rigicality in Effect for Decisive Game 5 of WNBA Finals. And we'll start with that phantom call.
First of all, Breanna Stewart took how many steps? And I called it during the live, and we talked about it during the live. She traveled first of all. Okay, this is fourth quarter action. Okay, so here's Stewart over here. She's coming to the ball. So here she is. She comes to the ball. She gets the ball. She takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 steps. I'll play it in full motion again so you can see. Keep an eye on her. It's the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. That's number one. How in the world do you not call that a travel, officials? Fire them all. First, we had the rigicality. Now, to use a phrase another member of my chat said, is This is the rigification of this game. She doesn't get called for travel, but then what happens? Smith was called supposedly having fouled her. So in slow motion, look at her. Great defensive position, straight up. Here's Breonna Stewart. She comes still, holds her position. And they call this a foul. Now look, where's her hand? You can even see it right here. Her hand is on the ball. So those who Rebecca Lobo and whatever the other guy, whatever the guy's name is, Ruocco, whatever, Ruocco, I don't know how to pronounce it. Forgive me. He's calling the game. They're both wondering, like, where's the foul? Where's the foul? Where's the foul? Where's the foul? And obviously, Cheryl Reeve is going to challenge this, and she does. Now, they said, well, they're looking for it. They don't see it. And they go, well, maybe did she get her on the hand? Did she get? And even if she got her on the hand, the rule in basketball is that if your hand is on the ball, then your hand is a part of the ball. So that's not a foul. Again, if your hand is on the ball, then your hand is a part of the ball and it's not a foul. Not even sure she even got her on the hand. So there it is. Hand is right. You can see it right here. Hand is on the ball. Okay. So one might say, oh, this isn't necessarily rigification. They just thought it was a foul in the fourth quarter of game 5 in a winner take all game. Really? Okay. But let's just say they thought it was a foul. They reviewed it. So they saw what we saw a million times, because you know how they do, supposedly. And they came back and they said that she was out of position. Out of position. And even after this game, you get Andrea Carter and Carolyn Peck and Chinea Gumike and whoever else was out there talking. They're all saying, what was that? They're all saying this was fake. This was some kind of phantom call. Now, is it possible that these officials did not want to face New York fans? Did not want to face them if they overturned that call? Did not want to face them if they didn't have special whistles and non-whistles and all this other stuff, all this other nonsense? Is it possible? I guess so. But then you know what? Then get out of the way and find something else to do, because you're not up to the challenge. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the rigification of this game. I'm going to say.
So again, Representative Angie Craig of Minnesota was not lying. I said the same thing almost a year ago. Now, I don't know why she's bringing it up now. I don't know how that works. Is this the first floor speech she's given since then? I don't know. I don't know what Congress does. Upon further thought, my guess is she waited until now to speak on it because this is the first time the Liberty will face Minnesota in the 2025 season. So the first time they match up since that decisive game 5. And they're playing in Minnesota. So makes sense now. She was biding her time. But the WNBA, you want the eyeballs on you, you want the attention on you, then you're going to have to deal with people calling you out. And apparently she is for the ladies, because she also mentions in this speech that she believes they should be paid more. But the bottom line is that you need to clean things up. We're still talking about the refs, and it's only gotten worse. But that was really bad because there was a championship on the line. But I tell you what, talk about poking the bear. Nafisa Collier has been on an absolute tear since that happened. We saw it in the post game after that interview. She was ticked. Of course, so was Cheryl Reeve, and called it out, said, fine me, whatever. You're going to say I'm whining, whatever. She called it out. Nafisa Collier called it out. Nafisa Collier went into unrivaled, tearing folks apart, a woman among little girls. And then we see it now in this 2025 season. They know they were robbed, and they're coming after people. But here's the attention you want on the House floor, and not exactly the look you were hoping for. She ain't lying. I'll catch you next time, God willing. God bless you abundantly.